and welcome to another edition of The Locker Room. I'm your host, Matt Hirsch, joined tonight by our co-hosts,
Kyle Anderson.
And it's Brandon Jones in the locker room.
We're missing our normal co-host, Reggie Huffman. He has some prior engagements tonight, but we'll miss him, and we'll still have a pretty good discussion tonight. So, and to get right down to it, our topic tonight is the status of football. More specifically, the status of the NFL. There are a few things that have been going on a lot here recently with football and with the NFL, and we just thought we'd kind of cover some of those topics this evening. So to start out, let's go ahead and get right to it and go up to bat with the discussion of the bounty program. A lot coming out here recently about that, and with the New Orleans Saints, the issues that they've dealt with, the suspensions that they've dealt with the bounty program. I'm going to go ahead and throw it to a couple of the guys that have played football in this group, Kyle and Brandon. I'll throw it to you, Brandon, first off. With the bounty program, is this a normal part of football? Is this something that you would see normally?
First off, when people hear the word bounty, their thoughts right now immediately go to that New Orleans Saints situation. When I think of the word bounty, yeah, coaches do, coordinators do say, hey, hit this guy hard as you can. Do it legally. Do it fairly. We talked about a situation that we had a level of football that I played where a coach came to us and said, hey, I want 5 out of the ball game. Hit him hard. Hit him fair. He didn't say, hey, fall at his knees. But I want 5 out of the ball game. So, yes, it's commonplace. And it kind of, I think Chris Carter hit on it the other day. There's a dirty side of football. It's a violent game. A lot of fans, if you haven't been inside of those walls of the locker room, have never seen it. But it's a nasty side of football. So is it commonplace to try to take someone out, try to end their careers? No. That's going totally above and beyond. That's something that we don't do. But as far as, hey, let's knock out 81 over there, or let's knock out 5 over there, and let's do it legally every time he touched the ball. Let's put our hat on his hat. Yes, it's coming.
I would say whenever I think of bounty, I always think of the paper towels, the quicker picker-upper. That's what comes to my mind. But now, because of the NFL, it is making people think, hey, is this really going on? Agreeing with Brandon, there is a level of football when I played, it was you to play your best, and you wanted to hit the other guy, but you wanted to do it legally. As Cornelius Bennett said, hey, I wanted the guy to know I was there. I wasn't going to intentionally try to hit him or play dirty, but I was going to let him know I was there, and if, whatever happened where he didn't want to come back in the game. There are people that play dirty. There are people that we've seen them. I'm not naming any names. Dominic Sue, not naming any names.
So we covered about him last week.
Yeah, we covered him last week. But there are some that do it, and I think that's really where the question comes in for me. It's, like Brandon said, it's part of the game. You hit hard, you get hit, you get up, and you go on. But where is this one different? I think it's different because you're trying to pay people to say, look, I want you to end
Well,
them.
and I think that's a good kind of transition there. You're talking about, well, how far do you take it? Well, we're talking about the NFL. These are professional athletes. They're playing for money. So is it surprising to you guys that money was more than likely involved in this situation?
Probably a little amount of money that was involved.
I mean, I'm not surprised. In the NFL, man, it's dog eat dog. So, no, I'm not surprised. No, I think the New Orleans Saints is the only team guilty of this. No. No, I would be very naive. And with me knowing some people who have played at that level or even playing at that level, no. They're not the only ones. Theirs just kind of got out of hand and they got caught. But it's more common than the fans would like to believe.
I think it's almost like when you hear people talk about speeding on the interstate. Yeah, we all know people speed, but the problem is that when you're the one who gets caught, that's the only one they care about. You're the one who got caught. And the thing I want to ask you guys, Jeremy Shockey's the one that kind of put a light on this, and that's what made the NFL investigate. Allegedly. Here's the thing I've got. Let's say nobody talks about this. Do you think this ever would have came to light?
No.
Why not?
Hell no, because it's a culture of the NFL that's been going on for years. I mean, it just didn't start last week. I mean, they didn't, go watch Boys in the Hood and just say, hey, you know what we can do? This is something that's been the culture, for years, decades in the NFL. So no.
I think it's probably more along the lines of, well, they caught the New Orleans Saints, and this is going to be me almost sounding like a homer here in the South, but because they were so successful and so popular. Mm-hmm. I think that the fact that they're so successful and so popular, that spurred on a little bit of investigation after just a little bit of talk came out about it. You see the same in college athletics. Whenever a team is successful, there's another team or some sort of athlete that says something, and then it spurs an NCAA investigation. And that's where things come to light. And I think that probably caused it here.
And I think the thing that people need to understand, that we all need to come to realization about, whether everybody wants to admit it or not, is yes, the bounty program was bad. Now, people were saying, well, why is it that Sean Payton, Greg Williams, why are the coaches getting punished like they did? Well, Greg Williams is being punished because he's the one who got caught on tape talking about this, saying and putting all of it into place. Sean Payton got in trouble, and so did the general manager, because they knew it was going on, but when the NFL asked them and said, did you or did you not know this is going on, they looked them right in the eye and said, oh, no, we didn't know this was going on. And I think that's where they got in trouble, is you got in trouble for lying and got caught. That's where I think, if Roger Goodell taught us one thing, don't lie to the man.
Yeah. And to me, this was all about, I listened to Greg Williams' speech. You've been in the locker room. Did his speech sound uncommon? No. It didn't. But if you have someone who's never been inside those lines before, and you hear it, you got people like on Good Morning America and trying to break down in every word that he says, to them it sounds bad. But his speech got me fired up. Yes, if running back right there just got it back from a concussion, let's see how good he is. Let's put my hat on his hat. Let's see if he's really good to go. Receiver out there, he's kind of gimpy. Let's see him run those slant. Let's see him run those 5 yards out. Don't go out and try to hurt him, but let's see how he is when we get up and jam him. Let's see how good he is off that ankle.
But I think it builds off what you just said, where, well, let's not try to hurt him. That's what he was saying, though, is I will pay you extra money if you hurt him. I want him out. And that's where I think that the question really is coming is, we know that football is violent. You've played it, All-American at Southern University. I mean, you have a resume better than any of us. I've played it. We've all watched it. We know it's a violent sport. Mm-hmm. But to go to that level of, hey, you see Kurt Warner? I want him on a stretcher. I'll pay you extra if they have to cart him off the field. And you're like, what?
Yeah, that's drawing the line. And what really got me about his speech, when he was talking about getting up under and rolling ankles and stuff like that, we've all played those teams before. That's out of the line. Am I a hard hitter? Yes, to this day I am. I am a very hard hitter. I've always played with an aggressiveness and intimidation. Will I go above and beyond and try to get someone out the game? No.
Well, guys, something that I wanted to kind of ask y'all is, it's not surprising y'all that professional athletes are getting paid to do this. Y'all have said that it's gone on from the high school ranks, college ranks. This is not something that's new by any means. How do high school or college players, how do they get rewarded, if you will, for coming through on the bounty that's placed?
Well, usually, in high school, it's kind of you and your boys. The defense, breaks up. You got the D-line, you got the linebackers, you got the DBs. DBs might get together and say, hey, who is the best receiver? let's take him out. You know what I mean? Let's take him out legally. If you get a shot, take shots.
So pride, bragging rights.
It's pride, bragging rights. Linebackers get up. Linebackers get up. If they got a guard they like to pull, let's meet him in the hole. Let's see if he gonna keep pulling hard. So it's kind of a pride thing.
Well, and it's funny because Brandon has played both offense, defense, special teams. He's played all the facets of it. I played majority of offense, and I remember one time, and Brandon, you can back me up on this, when you would actually go, if you were an offensive tackle and you were pulling up to go on top of the linebacker while he was coming across, is what we called an ear hole, where he's looking straight at the running back, he doesn't see you, and you actually hit him from the side. There are a lot of people that started to say, that's dirty. And I'm like, it's not dirty, because you're not paying attention to me. You should see a big 6'7", 300-pound behemoth coming at you and you know that he's going to hit you. There's a difference between that, and then there's a difference between he's going away from me and I dive at the back of his knee just to take it out and cripple him, and then it's like, oh, well, I got him out of the game.
And you know one of the things that me and Brandon Thornton and Riley Strauss did in high school? We would run the ball with the intentions of inflicting pain on people. If I had open space and there was a defender there, I always took the defender. So our thing was, let's physically make them quit. So we tried to inflict as much pain, even when I played on the offensive side of the ball, which was only in high school. We tried to inflict as much pain on defenders as we could because we know that we were hunted.
Well, and I guess the question is, guys, and I know it's not really something that we can answer. Where's the line between conditioning and attrition? Where's the line between just being in better shape than your opponent versus just literally taking them out?
I think the best example you can think of what is dirty and what is part of the game. Great example. Trent Richardson, when he took the ball against Arkansas in 2009 and ran off and hit, and 4 guys hit him in a row, and he bounced off and kept going.
Right.
Those were all clean hits. They were hard hits, but they were clean hits. Now fast forward to 2010. Auburn's playing Georgia. When Nick Fairley, the ball had been let go, and the quarterback was standing there, and he just drilled him square in the back. That's where, okay, now you crossed the line. That's the line. And I think that's the issue is, I'll ask y'all, did the bounty program cross the line?
If you're talking about ending people's career and doing it dirty, it did. But if you're inspiring your team to go out and play hard and hit harder, it didn't. But what we learned is that this was about taking people out. You can't cross that line.
But isn't that kind of hypocritical, though? The fact that y'all have said, and y'all said at the beginning of the show, that it goes on. It happens everywhere. It's not surprising, but it's over the line. So that.
I mean, the line is you don't go out and intentionally try to end someone's career or hit them hard, hit them fair. We ain't talking about diving at somebody's knees or you get up on the pile and twisting the ankle.
So with all this being said, guys, y'all said that it was over the line. Y'all said it happens, but it's over the line. Did Roger Goodell, did he overreact with the penalties, with the suspensions, with the fines?
I don't think he did, because people have to remember, like we said, the coaches, they got in trouble for lying. That's what got them. Now, the players, the ones that were involved, you can argue on whether or not it was too stiff or it was too harsh, but I think what he's trying to do is send a message of, look, we want you to play hard, we want you to play intense, but this is not going to be tolerated. We can't let you, especially now that what's coming up in part 2 we're going to talk about is the concussions. I mean, if that continues and they're going to bring lawsuits, he's got to stop it. He's got to do something.
He's going to be liable.
Roger Goodell has to protect the shield, and he went in, and you can call it what you want to call it, but he made a PR move that he's going to protect the shield and also kind of protect himself for those lawsuits that are upcoming.
So, real quick, guys, is this what makes Roger Goodell unpopular?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say that's people always hate the person that is going to hold you accountable.
So, well, and that's the first part of our show here with the locker room is the bounty program. We're going to kind of take a transition and talk about the safety in the NFL, the situation with the concussions. So, stay tuned and make sure that you catch the second part of the locker room.